All over the country, more and more communities are making the change to biodiesel made from U.S. soybean oil, and the decision continues improving the health and welfare for millions of Americans while adding billions to our national economy.
This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Kansas Soybean Update.
This is the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Charlie Griffin, Research Assistant Professor at Kansas State in the School of Family Studies and Human Services, joins us. And Charlie, the subject of rural mental health has become more prevalent in agriculture due to what we have seen in the ag economy across the board.
It's been a tough couple of years, and as always, when income goes down, the stress goes up. There are a lot of reasons for that. Farming is a stressful occupation in any year, but when you're struggling to get by, it's filled with unpredictability, uncontrollable factors, and unpredictable factors.
So if there is a farmer out there, a rancher, an ag worker out there who feels like they're struggling, what's the best recommended method for them to maybe talk with somebody?
Well, one of the things I'd say to start with is understand that not all, but a lot of what we call mental health problems are anxiety and depression and high stress. And those often involve not just the mental health side, but also a financial aspect and also perhaps a legal aspect. People struggling with debts that they can't pay, delinquent loans. So I encourage people to find a way to reach out to all of that information. My strongest referral is to the Kansas Agricultural Mediation Service, and I have a toll-free number for them. It's 1-800-321-FARM, 3276. And I refer there because they are kind of the front door into people who can sit down with individual farm families and help with financial analysis, to do some projections, to get a real serious idea of exactly what condition are people in. They also understand the mental health side and are prepared to make referrals. The best referral until hopefully we can put together another farm hotline in the state, I encourage people to call their local area mental health center. So call them. But I encourage farm families to call and say, can you get me together with somebody that understands farming as well as the mental health side, so that they can start off with somebody that understands the stresses they're facing. One final resource, I would say, please consider calling your local extension office.
That's Charlie Griffin, Research Assistant Professor at Kansas State, who joins us on the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Learn more at kansassoybeans.org. For Kansas Soybeans, I'm Greg Akagi.
Hope you enjoyed this week's Kansas Soybean Update. Stay with us after the break for more with Dwayne Taves and Jim Nelson, Swine Extension Specialist at Kansas State University.
What if U.S. soybean oil were an industry sensation? If end users started asking for it by name? That future is here, the time is now. To meet customer demands, the Soybean Checkoff is investing in varieties that produce oil with increased functionality. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
What does a brighter, more sustainable future look like in our cities and towns, and how do we get there? When New York needed an alternative fuel source to reduce carbon emissions, the city found what it needed in biodiesel made from U.S. soybean oil.